Hello, I'm Glenn, and welcome to Torre Vale as part of the Hayle Model Railway Club virtual exhibition. Um, Basically, I was invited along, and unlike other videos that you'll be seeing in this exhibition, I haven't actually got a layout as yet. Now, a few of you will probably be in the same boat as me. I have quite a lot of projects on the go, um, but let's get to why Torre Vale. I live in South Devon, near Torquay, and my latest house, which I'm in now and have been in just about 2 years, is near Torre. So I thought to myself, well, why not Torre Vale? Um, People have said to me, oh, what era are you going to do? So I tell them GWR. So they're expecting, green green steam locos and the BR stuff that used to come down to Paynton for the summer holidays. No, no. My GWR is Glenn's Whatever Railway, because I'm just going to run what I like. And quite a bit of it could possibly be fictitious as well, and we'll get to that later. So, yeah, basically, I'm going to be having on the layout Torre Station, which I've taken loads of photos. Here are some of them of the actual station itself, and I've taken measurements, and I am going to try to scratch build the station itself. Now, the footbridge is wider than a standard, say, ratio footbridge. I'm going to make I'm thinking plasticard overlaid with some what's this, cladding on the building itself, which I have found some plastic cladding which works out roughly to scale. I say roughly, it'll be fairly close to it. So yeah, basically it's Torre Station is where I'm going to have on the layout, but there will be other bits and pieces locally that people will know of. Again, I'll get to another project soon. But yeah, so where did I start? Well, when I was younger, my dad and I had a layout in the basement at home. It was not a very big layout, but it was a round and round tail chaser, had a pond in the middle which lifted out so that I could sit in the middle and watch the trains go round. And the only thing I had was an old Graham Farish Class 25, which ended up dropping and breaking. But the one that I had, which was just would pull like a train, excuse the expression. And the reason I loved it was I could turn the lights off because it had lights on the front. And that was, and I've still got it, the Minitrix Warship. An absolute brilliant, brilliant thing. Now, I've grown to love these, obviously, mainly because of the childhood, but also they would pull anything up the inclines I had on the layout. So hence the reason I've bought a few more. So then comes 2006. I got into a relationship and moved close to Newton Abbot Station. That reignited the railway interest again. So I grabbed all my railway stuff out, started photographing and videoing a lot more, and I had a couple of YouTube channels for that. But also I had the old the old photo pick, if anybody remembers that, the image hosting website that all of a sudden disappeared and everybody lost thousands of photos. Now, back in the day then, I had photographed a certain train, I loved it, and it was the Blue Pullman. And I don't mean the 1960s version, but the FM rail 247s and full rake of the blue and white coaches. So that is a project that I started, even though back then I had no layout. I was going to be going in the loft at the house that I was in. So I started that, and I decided as it was going, it was getting more and more and more detailed. So that is another project which basically has been on hold for about the last 10 years. But thanks to Hayle Model Railway Club, I've managed to go through all my stuff for this video, and I found every bit and piece for it. So let's have a quick look at that. So as you can see from these photos, these are a couple of the Blue Pullman ones when it visited locally. I knew I wanted to do it while I was getting these photos, so I asked one of the drivers if they could go up and get a decent head-on shot, because I knew that I wanted the headboard. Now, probably, there you go. That's a scale version of the Blue Pullman headboard. Took me a while to get it right, but I decided that I would just do a quick mock-up with an old body I had of the loco itself. Went a little bit of detail on the steps and the axle boxes, and then I thought, well, that's not enough detail, so I decided on getting a couple more of the Farish bodies, and I've gone absolutely silly with it. We're going to have cutaway buffer beams. We have brass etched doors, brass etched everything. It's just gone beyond silly. I've got some lights to put in the end. I want to go silly detail with it. So I couldn't just stop at the loco. So as you can see below, I've gone a bit mad with the bodies of the coaches as well. Completely stripped them out. But then I've gone this. Now, I'm not the best painter. It will come better in the future. But I've gone silly detail on this with etched rubbing plates and doors. And if we have a look inside, I've even, if we can get this out, people inside everything. And if you have a look on the tables, yeah, we've got etched brass table lamps on all of the tables. Now I have 13 coaches, and they did used to run 13 coaches occasionally, so there will be a full rake of these eventually, and it's going to take time, but that's my most, I'd say, major project that I've undertaken so far. But with the HSTs out and about at the moment, I am a bit of a HST fan. I've got quite a few, but I thought I would go with one of the rumours that GBRF were going to be doing some bits and pieces, and possibly, which it hasn't come to fruition, having some for parcels, etc. Now, if they're going to be doing that, I thought to themselves, well, GBRF management are going to need to go out and about, so I've decided to do, quickly, a GBRF management train. At the moment, it's only 2 coaches and the 2 power cars, but doesn't look too bad. I mean, so yeah, there's going to be aspects of various eras, if you like, all moulded into one. I've also then been and bought all of the Dapol Pacers, and I have overlays for those, again, from Electra Railway Graphics. So there will be chocolate and cream. There's the first Great Western with the Northern Star. Ooh. Luckily, they don't break that easy. So yeah, there's a lot to be doing here. But unfortunately, like with everything, my wife said, you can have a model rail room if you like. You can have the full room to yourself. Brilliant. Then the room that she's given me decided that actually the bathroom needs to be bigger because there's not a lot of room in there, which is understandable, which then means I've got to knock through into my model room, so that's going to make it a little bit smaller. Probably then it'll only be about 12 by 8 foot. At the moment it's 12 by 12, so I'm losing quite a bit of space. Which brings me on to the last project, which if you are a viewer of my channel, or if you've seen Torre Vale Engage channel on YouTube, you will have seen the build of this so far. And also you may have got a glimpse on Peter's videos. They're either on here and you've seen them already on the channel, on the exhibition, or they will be coming up shortly. Peter designs and laser cuts the Royal Albert Bridge, and when I first saw that on a forum ages ago, had to have one, had to have the full thing. Then realised when I got it here how big it was, and decided that I'm going to have to basically build the layout around this bridge. So let's go on to that. Now, as you can see, this is a photo of the actual bridge. I've been down there a few times and taken photos of it. It's a brilliant structure. Anybody knows it. It's very, very famous, obviously. And so yeah, I decided that I had to have this bridge, but it's a single line. Now, Peter does it in either one of the spans or the full 2 spans. He also does it single track or double track. So here you go, guys. This is my N-gauge Royal Albert Bridge, and I will stop the pacer there and we will zoom out so you can see. It's still a work in progress, and excuse the workbench there. This was going to be part of the layout, but I've got a feeling now that the bridge is going to have to go across that back wall, because it's going to be the widest bit that I've got of the room. This kit is awesome. As I said, it's going to be a 2-line. Now, I'm still waiting to finish this because I decided, much to giving Pete some more work, that the actual pillars here, I don't think were tall enough for what I want. I could have built a layout and it would have looked great, but I've decided that I'm going to make more work for myself, and I'm going to basically make those pillars now. I think it was 6 or 8 inches tall, and so I'm going to make one module to take this whole bridge with a river scene in underneath it. So that's going to be a task in itself. But yeah, the Royal Albert Bridge, 2-lane in N-gauge. It's brilliant. Have a look at the channel on Torre N-gauge, and I've put videos up on that, and hopefully soon I will kickstart myself and we will get this finished and weathered and detailed. I have bought myself, which I have here somewhere, I've been and bought myself the brass etched laddering, which is a signal ladder, but it's basically, they have them on the ends of these towers. So I'm going to detail that on each of the end towers, walkways around the roof, the lot. So yeah, it's gonna be highly detailed, as the Blue Pullman is. So there you go, a little insight into Torre Vale N-gauge and what we hope to plan for the future. Now, I'm ever so sorry that I didn't actually have a proper layout to put in this virtual exhibition, but hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed the ones if you've already watched them. There's a lot more to come. So thanks again to the Hayle Model Railway Club for inviting me along to do a video for this, and enjoy the rest of the day. Cheers for now.